Hello, my fellow hunters. The expansion for Monster Hunter Wilds has been revealed and will be coming out next year. So I wanted to do a wishlist video of what I want to see in the Master Rank expansion. So I'll be discussing which monsters I want to see returned for Master Rank. The devs have said the expansion is about Elder Dragons, so there's quite a few monsters that me and my friends want to see return. And I'll also be discussing about sieges and also difficulty adjustments. Comment down below what your wishlist is for Master Rank. And so let's jump right into the video and start with the returning monsters. So this time around, the returning monsters are most likely going to be Elder Dragons. So I am going to list monsters that I want to see return for Master Rank, ranging from subspecies, rare species, variants, and of course Elder Dragons. I begin the list with the Comet Elder Dragon himself, Valstrax. Valstrax is the flagship Elder Dragon of Generations Ultimate and is one of the coolest Elder Dragons in the series. He made his return in Rise, but that was a variant called Crimson Glow Valstrax. So I want the original Valstrax to return, mainly because the new locale is perfect for it, since we are in the sky, and it will make more sense for Valstrax to appear. The new Flying Wyvern that was revealed has a similar dive bomb move that Valstrax is known for, so I hope Valstrax returns. The next monster I want to see return is Monoblos. Monoblos was last seen in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. He has been overshadowed by Diablos ever since they were introduced. Monoblos would fit right at home in the desert and could be one hell of a challenge. I hope he gets added because it's been so many years since his last appearance, and if he does return, I hope they bring back his subspecies as well. Since Kushala was revealed, it is a given that Teostra will also be returning, since he is part of the original Elder Dragon trio. And I hope that Camilios returns as well, since he was in Rise. And it will make sense for Camilios to return, since the forest is the perfect location for him. The next few Elder Dragons that I would like to see return are Namiel, Velkhana, and Shigaru Magala. All three of these Elder Dragons add variety to the roster, and since we had Gormagala in the base game, I think it's guaranteed that Shigaru is most likely returning. And there is a huge castle at the very top of his locale, and it would make sense for it to be the home of Shigaru Magala. Now, the next two Elder Dragons I really hope to return is Amatsu and Dalamadur. Mainly because I love both of these Elder Dragons, and if Dalamadur returns, it could open up more Snake Wyverns to be added to the series. And both of these Elder Dragons could be a real challenge, just like how they are in the previous games. Since Amatsu was in Sunbreak, it was a really awesome fight. So I want Matsu to come back. And as for Dalmadur, I really want him to come back because he's just such an awesome Elder Dragon. The next monster I want to see return is Espinus and his subspecies Flaming Espinus. Espinus was an awesome monster in Sunbreak, the flagship monster of Frontier. Espinus has the unique ability to inflict multiple status elements at the same time from all of his attacks. He is one hell of a fun monster to hunt, so I hope he returns, or at least another monster from Frontier finally gets added. I think we also need some invading monsters to make hunts more chaotic. If Devil Joe and Basil Geese return, they would be a fun addition and also gives us more options for dragon element weapons and blast weapons. And if they are brought back in Master Rank, maybe their variants will also be added. Now, from the trailer, we've seen Gemma wearing a certain plushie on her belt, and it's either a Kezu or a Giganox. Out of the two, I want Giganox to return, mainly because it hasn't been seen since Try, and it would actually fit quite well in the Eyeshot Cliffs. So please bring back Giganox instead of Kezu. The next Elder Dragon I would like to see return is the Elder Dragon Eater Runa Nergigante. Now, since there's going to be quite a few Elder Dragons in the expansion, it would make sense for Nergigante to appear since he eats Elder Dragons. And if he does return, then I hope it's Runa Nergigante because he's one of my favorites from Iceborne, and also many players love him. So I really hope Runa Nergigante gets added. As for the last lot of monsters, I want to see Tigrex, Nagakuga, Kurapeko, Glavenus, Celtus Queen, Akantor, and Yukanlos. All these monsters will add variety to the roster and will be awesome to see again. However, if Akantor and Yukanlos return, they will need to bring back the Ingle Isle and also Polar Field, since they can only be hunted in those locales. And I would also like to see some classic subspecies return, since they haven't been seen for a while. So I would like to see Pink Rathian, Azure Rathalos, Ivory Lagiacris, Blue Tigrex, and as for rare species, I think it's guaranteed we will be getting Silver Rathalos and Gold Rathian, since they are in every Master Rank expansion. But I also hope to see Molten Tigrex and Lucent Nagakuga again. So the final monster I want to see is a Black Dragon. Since Lao Shenlong is confirmed, I think it's safe to say that the Black Dragon himself, Vitalis, is returning. But this time, I want to see either Crimson Vitalis or White Vitalis to make their return. Since Zoshia is made up of parts of Vitalis, I think a new Vitalis will be reborn and take over or grow from the inside of Zoshia. Since Vitalis regenerates over time, I think Vitalis will be returning, but I want Crimson and White Vitalis to return the most and become the true final bosses of Master Rank. So I think now is the perfect time to bring them back. So these are the monsters I want to see return for Master Rank, but most likely some of these monsters probably won't return, but you never know. And so let's move on to the next section. Sieges have always been a part of the Monster Hunter series, and every Monster Hunter title has included one starting from the original Monster Hunter. Sieges are usually used to fight the largest elder dragons in the series. Gogmazios was added as the final monster for the base game, and the only siege elder dragon fight. But it's much better siege with a lot of new mechanics, which is what we needed. And Gogmazios gives us parts to upgrade our Archean weapons and turn them into Gogma weapons, which are currently the best weapons in the game until we reach Master Rank. Since we have Lao Shenlong returning, we have a siege for Master Rank, but honestly, Lao Shenlong is one hell of a slog to get through, mainly because its fight is very slow and the monster doesn't really fight back. So I'm hoping they speed up Lao Shenlong and give it some new moves and gear to farm. My hope is that we get a siege for Dalmadur, since it's one of the coolest and largest elder dragons in the series, and it's a monster that hasn't been seen for years. And Dalmadur is a perfect example to bring back Snake Wyverns back into the main series. But we will find out soon enough if we get more than one siege. There's a good chance we will get at least one more for another large elder dragon. And so, let's move on to the next section. When it comes to difficulty in Monster Hunter, it varies from person to person. So some monsters can be harder for some people and easy for others. Since I've played Monster Hunter for nearly 10 years now, I would say I'm pretty good at adapting to each difficult hunt. The issue I have for Monster Hunter Wilds is that the main story hunt was too easy, since the monsters didn't have a lot of health, and some hunts were finished in under 5 minutes. The Monster Hunter team kind of fixed this with the tempered monsters in high rank, since the 8-star or higher tempered monsters have increased health and damage. But some monsters have so much health that some monsters, looking at you Gormagala, were so frustrating to hunt because of the increased stats of the monster. I think they have increased it too much to the point it takes 20 to 30 minutes to complete a 9-star or multiple monster hunt. Hopefully for Master Rank they balance out the difficulty, since I think they have increased it too much for high rank, but I still hunt the 9-star monsters and like the challenge. But for Gore and Arkfeld, I think their health is too high, but everything else is fine. The only thing I wish for is that I wish the story quests are a bit more difficult than they were in the base game. Other than that, there's no real issue with it, apart from the tempered monsters maybe having too much health. But that's a me issue, that's not the game issue. Hopefully they will balance it out in Master Rank. So this is my wish list for Monster Hunter Wilds Ascendance. We don't know much about the expansion at the moment, except for its story will be about Elder Dragons. So Ascendance will have a lot of Elder Dragons to hunt. So anyway, I think I have talked for long enough, and I'd just like to say thank you all for all your support. And if you liked the video, give it a like and share it with your friends. And also comment down below your thoughts on this wish list. So I'll catch you guys at the next video. Thank you all for watching, and of course, happy hunting!